What's up? What's going on? I'm back with another video. What the fuck? That's the worst. Sorry, I hate that shit. It's your boy so and so. I'm here with another video. Like, no, like, at this point, no one sees this, so you can't say I'm back with another video. This is my video of me drawing Richard Pryor. That's what I should start with, and that's what I think I will start with. I've been wanting to draw Richard Pryor since I was a teenager. It's just one of those things that, you know, one of those names in my head that I always wanted to draw because when I was a teenager, a lot of the things I can remember from when I was, you know, like when you're a teenager hanging out in your own room, one of the things that I always remember is listening to Richard Pryor albums. There's like a handful of things that I remember listening to. And one of them was, let's see, Craps After Hours. I think that's the first Richard Pryor album I ever listened to and bought. And then from there, I just pick up more and more. And I even have hold on. Right here, I have what the hell is it? The Warner tapes or some shit. It's a box set. I'm not really big into box sets. I don't know why. I just feel like it's kind of cheap. But it had a bunch of stuff that... What is it? The Complete Warner Brothers Recordings, 1968 to 1992. 8 discs. 9 discs. It's got really bad... really confusing to the eye. Like, was it graphic art or whatever on the back? Like this one, what do you call it? Disc 9, Like, no, it's true with every one of them, but I'll just go with disc 9. Every one of them is a different, it's either black or white, all different fonts, and all different, you know, levels of boldness and stuff like that. But yeah, I got this a long time ago. Copyright 2000? That sounds right. Because I remember getting it at a Best Buy. When I still, you know, I don't know, I was probably like, not 20. How old am I? Yeah, maybe 20, because, you know, 2000 doesn't mean that, you know, that's when I bought it. Anyway, so what was I saying? Why is my videos frozen? Oh, okay, no, it's not. I can't believe it's this far into the video, and I'm only this far into the thing. One of the things that I wanted to improve on is the speed in which I get started, because I really don't like measuring out everything, but it's necessary in order to know that if I'm drawing... that everything's going to fit in the proper, you know, so that nothing's cut off because, whoa, I made that way too big, or now it's too small and I have to crop what I originally wanted as a size, all that good stuff. So I did a good job. I actually went back to a recent one that I did, Peter Dinklage, and I grabbed that video out of the recycling bin and I took notes on how I did it because that was the easiest, best, you know, fastest way that I could do that. But anyway, back to Richard Pryor. I've got like I don't know, I got a ton of albums. And I remember I just like that was one of the things I used to listen to. That, Cheech and Chong, a couple bands that I like from that era. And, you know, like I don't know. When I think of Richard Pryor and I think of his albums, I think of like, you know, back when I was a teenager in my room, and I remember there being sort of like an imaginative thing to listening to his albums. You know what I mean? Like even though I didn't live a life anywhere near his, there was such a weird kind of like relatability to the way he talked and the way he described, even though it was different circumstances and era, you know what I mean? Like I didn't grow up in, what was he born in like the 40s or something? I didn't grow up in the 50s and all that good stuff, and I didn't grow up in Peoria, Illinois and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't set my hair on fire. Was his hair? I don't know. He went up in flames from the freebasing. Again, nothing like a life I've lived, but when you listen to his comedy albums, there's a very human relatability to the way he describes things, the emotion that he describes going along with the events and stuff that he's talking about, or like if he was talking about growing up and da-da-da. Even when he would talk about like growing up, like what was it? What would he talk about? Like, you know, people hanging around pool halls and crap like that. I remember there's this one thing that I really liked from him. It's one of these abstract things. That's the other thing too that's good about him, is that he goes into these abstract areas, and he's what do you call it? What was he talking about? There was this one where he's just talking about how he feels, but without describing how he feels. He's like emoting. He's like, sorry, he's like emoting how he feels. He's like, man, I just feel, man. You know, he's like, I don't know how I feel, but I feel like, you know what I mean? He just starts going into this like kind of visceral, reactive thing about how he feels and stuff like that. And I always remember that because I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that because I was, you know, hormonal teenager or some shit. What was it? This is the first one that I did in a long time that I didn't get scared, really. I started figuring out that if I kind of like put my hand, like make a ring so that I can look almost like you're faking binoculars or a telescope with your hands, like if you're a kid playing. If I do that and put it over a spot that I'm like let's say the left eye, and I'm like, I don't know if I have the angles right on this, I can just do that little like monocle thing with my fingers and just like isolate that part of the eye in the reference photo, and then I can like kind of glance back and forth and see if the, you know, the trajectory of the lines and stuff is right. Because sometimes you'll be like, I'm right on the ball, and then you realize you're like, oh my god, the maybe the inside angle of the lower eyelid is way too steep or way too not, you know, or not sharp enough, or, you know, X, Y, and Z. But I did that, and I would make the adjustments on the fly instead of going further into the other features like the nose, the mouth, and then looking and going, why do the eyes look wrong? And but then again, like you know, anytime I'm looking at this one or anyone, it's never good enough. Even if I really like what I did, they're never good enough for me. I'm always like questioning the likeness and stuff. Even though, like, yeah, there's always going to be that. Even when I talk about this one and I say this one was good, I felt really good about it. Also, I did this one in one day, which even though I'm trying to do straight up portraits like you know, weekly, even though it's more like a week and a half, or it's been at least for the last few. Once I started doing that a few videos ago, once I started doing that, what was I gonna say? Oh no, I always do this. Oh, it would end up being 3 days. You know what I mean? Because like I'd only fit maybe 2 or 3 hours in a day, and then I would do the same thing the next day, and then the next day, and then it would be done. But this was done on a Sunday, and let's see, it took about, the setup part took maybe I don't know, I want to say 30 minutes. It took less than an hour, which is key. Like, it wasn't an hour and a half of me messing around with lines and fractions and crap and a ruler. What was it? So it took about maybe, let's say 45 tops, but like half an hour of the first part, and then I started rolling, and then it was about 6.5 hours for the pencil sketch part, which is about what you're looking at right now. And I was like, cool, I think I'm done. Yeah, this is around the time. Yeah, see, right here is where I stopped the recording, and then I just said, you know what, I still got a couple hours left that I could work on drawing, and I took the color picker. I'm colorblind, by the way. I took a color picker, not cheating when you're colorblind. Grabbed a part of his, you know, cheek or whatever, and then I splashed it over, and then I said, man, it just brought it to a new level of realism that I wanted the picture to be. Because like I said, I was telling myself, I'm like, you've always wanted to draw Richard Pryor. You finally sat down and did it. What do you want to stop here and just have it be okay? Or do you want to take a couple more hours and put some color in it and make it look, you know, better than the reaction that I had when I put the color in there? And I said, ugh, I might have to do this. So I did. So, 6 or 6.5 hours for the portrait part. And then, 2 more hours, I think, for the color. And at the beginning, there was another reference photo that I had for a while that I wanted to use that had, it just had this like kind of like, he had a look in his face that wasn't like any other photo, and I said, man, that's like got a deep look to it. But the problem is it was very low resolution, and given the fact that it looked like it was on a TV set, it looked like it wasn't going to have any kind of upper, you know, I wasn't going to find anything with a higher resolution of the same picture. So there's this one, which is from the album Is It Something I Said, where he's like, you know, getting burned at the stake by a bunch of guys in robes, and the back is this. The back of it is this one, this picture, and that was what was it? I don't know. It's the end of the video, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, the back of it was this one, and it was a nice high resolution video or photo that I found, and I said, yeah, I got to do this one. I'm happy I did. Follow me on stuff, please. Thank you for watching. Bye.